Hi everyone, this is Dr. Yamini, your Asian dentist, and I'm here to share my journey of getting accepted into Penn Dental Medicine. I also got multiple interview invites this year, and my journey actually started way back in 2019 when I moved to US. So I'm so excited to share everything that I did, and I also will be bringing in guest speakers who have gone through the same journey. And I hope their stories will inspire you and we all can learn something from it. So, Dr. Utsavi, do you want to give a little introduction about yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. And I hope today's session will be useful to you all. And thank you, Dr. Yamini, for inviting me so then I can share what I learned from my journey to all the applicants. So I'm from India and I completed my Bachelor of Dental Surgery from Durham Sidesa University, Faculty of Dental Science in Gujarat. And I graduated in the year 2014. And I completed my Master of Public Health degree from Hofstra University, School of Health Science, which is located in New York, and I graduated in 2018 from that.
Okay. Um, so the next question I wanted to ask was, why did you decide to move to US and why did you decide to do DDS?
Sure. So I graduated in 2014 and then I practiced as an associate dentist for 2 years. 1 year at a nonprofit and then 1 year at two different private clinics. When I was practicing, I came across like many things, starting from like, let's say, when I was at a nonprofit clinic, I saw that many patients who were coming, even it was an urban area, still it was kind of from rural areas many people were coming because of the cheaper treatments, and then definitely they were not aware about how oral health is important. So that was one of the reasons I had. Another reason I saw that when I was doing my CE courses, continuing education courses, I also learned about dental technologies. And then that's when I learned about that how technology and other things are so advanced in America. And I saw that there is no other country that I would want to move than US to pursue my further education. And then I also saw that there is so much of like social determinants and behavioral health that we can improve while also improving the oral health of the patients. So this multiple factors led me to decide that yes, I definitely want to pursue DDS slash DMD in the US. So then maybe it will give me a better perspective in terms of oral health and how it also affects people's overall health.
So when you moved, you started as MP, you started doing MPH.
Yes. So I moved on student visa to US as a Master of Public Health student. And then while doing my MPH, I was determined to go back to dentistry. However, during my MPH, I discovered so many things because I took many courses which were about like introduction to US healthcare system, and that introduced me to the world of the healthcare in America. That also includes the insurance systems about Medicare, Medicaid, which we actually see our patients in dental offices these days. So then again, Indian insurance system and American insurance system is very different. So then this was very helpful for me to understand from the basic that how it works in the US. I also took courses on social and behavioral determinants. So then it also exposed me to the population over here on what they think and how they react, and then also like what are the social factors that hinder or that actually encourage patients to go seek the dental treatment. Different type of courses I was taking, and then again I was able to make that connection with the oral health. I understand that dentistry is a clinical field and public health is non-clinical field. However, it is very important that you connect the dots. And again, I wanted to pursue this program, which is why I did it. It was not because that it would help me for DDS, but I actually wanted to learn about US healthcare through public health first, and then I wanted to move forward with the DDS, and that was one of the reasons. And then during my MPH, I also did internship. Again, that was a mandatory component of the course. However, during that, I learned a lot. So my internship was mainly in the research area. And then that actually introduced me to how the research is conducted. Even though it was non-dental, it was very important for me to understand. And I never did research back in the home country during my BDS. So this was a very good experience for me. And then I learned a lot, many protocols about research and how systematically research is conducted. So this was a very good experience for me. And then during that time, I started preparing for NBD Part 1. So yeah, and then I completed my NBD part one during my MPH itself.
Okay, that's wonderful. Like you decided to do MPH in order to learn how healthcare system works in US. I know a lot of people just want to do it because they see other candidates do it. So yeah, it's a personal preference. If you really are interested, I would say pursue an MPH. And when you were doing your MPH, did you get to shadow or work in clinics?
Yeah, so because I did have some visa restrictions, but I was able to connect with a couple of dentists. So I would want to tell people that when you are doing some masters or anything, try to network in different ways. So how I got an opportunity was that there was a career fair for MPH in my university, and then I was attending that. And during that, I actually met a dentist. And then she told me that her husband is also a dentist, and then if I am actually interested in pursuing dental degree here, then she can absolutely help me, and then I can go shadow at their clinic. And that actually was pivotal in my journey, I would say, because I started as a shadower, but then I think within a month or so, the dentist told me that, you won't be able to learn unless you actually do something hands-on. And then he said that you won't shadow anymore. You will assist me in each and every procedure. And he actually treated me as his colleague, because he told me that you are actually so much educated in terms of you already have a dental degree, and then you are already here. So it will be like a learning bridge between both of us. So that experience was very good for me. And then I still have, like, very good professional relationship with those dentists. They are actually in New York. And then with my study schedule and everything, I was not able to go there every single day. However, I managed to go there at least once or twice a week. So, like, even if you cannot dedicate 100% of your time to this, but if you can still be there, because I understand people have different things going on, people have lives, so sometimes it is not possible. So again, still make sure that you are connected with dentistry, because after I graduated in 2018 with my MPH, I had the pressure of finding a job in the US to stay here, and I had to find work. I had to get work visa, and I had to find a job which would sponsor me. And again, that was not possible in dentistry. So again, besides, I was also studying for my NBD part two at that time. So besides doing all these things, it was important for me to stay in the US. I did not have a job for 6 months, to be very honest, and that was a difficult time. However, I wanted to make sure that I still continue my dental assisting. So then I want to tell applicants that there are some temporary dental staffing agencies. And again, check your immigration status with what allows you and what doesn't. But there are temporary staffing agencies which actually place you at different clinics as a dental assistant. I did that for like a couple of months. And I think I was just going there once or twice a week because of my preparation with part two. But I can say that every week I was at different clinics. So then actually it taught me that how each clinic operation is different from one another. You can see different dental materials that they are using for each procedure. Most of the procedures you will find similar of what you have been doing in your home country. However, your chair position for a specific procedure, your handling of instruments, and then how the dental assistant helps the dentist in completing the procedure. Because in India, at least for me, I can say that it was just me doing it. Dental assistants are there, but they do not have a formal training how we have it here, because here people get certifications, and then that's how they become dental assistants. In India, it is not the process. So what I feel is, over here I learned about 400 dentistry when I started. So that was really good for me, when I actually learned that it makes the process very efficient for dentist and even the patient, and patients are happy. So patient satisfaction is what the ultimate goal is. So this temporary dental staffing agencies also helped me a lot. And during that time, I was also going to that dentist I mentioned earlier. I was doing that unpaid. My visa did not allow me to do that unpaid, so then that's why I kept doing it unpaid. Uh, excuse me. And then I got a full-time job that was in non-dental area based on my MPH, and that's how I had to get it, because I cannot get any other job which is not tied to my master's degree. So then, even if I had that full-time job, in the weekends I wanted to go and then work as a dental assistant, again unpaid, doesn't matter, it's fine as long as you are connected to the dental field. So then I was going there once a week. I continued doing that for 5 years, I can say that, because again, even if I would do something else, I did have visa restrictions. So for any applicant who do have some visa restrictions, do not get disheartened. It is absolutely okay. Find your ways on how you can still get connected to, your dental field. And again, like, I think if you have further questions for me, like in terms of, what other experiences I I did get along the journey. I can definitely mention it at that time. But yeah, Dr. Yamin, I do not want to, disrupt the schedule that you have here.
Yeah, that was a really great information you shared. And I would say networking is so important. Like Dr. Utsavi said, like going to conference or attending like career fair or something, you will meet people that will help you in future. So make sure like you just look around for camps or some other conference that's taking place. And if you have a dental school closer to you, make sure you go visit and see what seminar they are having. So that will be a great place to meet people. And also, like she said, temping as a dental assistant, that's something that I also did. So yeah, it's a great experience. You get to see different dental office, and I also got to talk about this in my interview and share that I went to like 10, 15 dental office, and I wanted to see different dental materials and learn different techniques that each doctor was doing and how they were working. And that's a good thing you can mention. And yeah, assisting is so important. Like for people who are just moving into US, like start shadowing. Like reach out to offices, email them that you are interested in shadowing and seeing how dentistry works here because it is very different from our home country. Like the day I entered the dental office, I was so fascinated looking at all technologies and stuff. So yeah, you will have a great time here. Like if you start going into dental clinics, and yeah, in future you might need like recommendation letter from doctors. So having good relation with them will help you like in long run.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. I got letters in my previous cycles from that dentist itself, and it actually helped me get some interviews as well. So definitely, like having a good relationship with your doctor, and also make sure you are not just restricted to doing dental assisting, because my full time job actually exposed me to different insurance systems in the US, and then how they actually work. Because I was working at a hospital, but that actually helped me to also understand the front office operations in dental clinic, and then how they are working on insurance part. So try to actually engage in everything, try to learn everything, because I am sure that once you will get accepted and once you will start the school, all these things will be covered for sure. They will teach you everything, but having some knowledge of it will make your life easier for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So Dr. Utsavi, I also wanted to ask, like, how many cycles did you apply to?
So I want to tell everyone over here that I'm not a conventional applicant who says like, okay, I got accepted in my first or second cycle. I'm the person who got accepted in my fifth cycle. So again, and I really hope nobody comes to that. But yes, it happened to me. But I actually wanted to do this. So again, it is really disheartening and disappointing that every time you have to apply, and the stress and financial constraints that goes into this. But I just want to say that if you are really passionate about getting into dental school, please keep it going. Don't let anything dishearten you, because if you know what your goal is, I'm sure you will achieve it one day.
Yeah, that's actually wonderful. And that was one of the reason I wanted to interview Dr. Utsavi because the perseverance and determination she has, like she must be very passionate about dentistry. And that's what I wanted to, interview her and learn from her experience. So Dr. Utsavi, how did you shortlist the schools and did you change your school list every year?
So I did not have a particular strategy in terms of shortlisting the schools. Mainly, I went to the Caapid and school website to see if my current profile fits into the criteria. What are the minimum requirements that each school has? And I would say again, everybody has different strategies. So I want to say what I did. So average in each cycle, I applied at least 10 to 15 schools. I know in initial cycles, I applied to 22 or 23 schools. Then I think I saw again, because everybody wants to apply to maximum number of schools whatever they can, and whatever their financial component helps. So again, it is definitely up to you what you would like to do, but I want to say that applying to average of 10 to 15 schools will place you in a better position in terms of maximize your chances of getting an interview. So I think that's the best strategy. That's what I can say.
So did you apply to the same 10 to 15 or were you like changing or revising your list?
So I think initially I did have the same list, but then later on I did revise my list, and then I think I shortened my list to be honest, and then this year I applied to, I can say, 17 schools. So I wanted to see then again, like some schools, even if I fit in the criteria, I was just applying, and then what I did this year was that in my mind I was thinking that should be my last cycle, that I really want to make sure that I give my 500% in the cycle. So for that, what I did was that, okay, I was looking at the school list again and again. Yes, many schools will overlap for sure, but then again, looking at some also residency requirement for some schools, because some schools definitely say that they prefer green card and citizens, and then they do accept visa candidates as well. So if you want to take a chance, definitely you can. And I did take a chance in one school, and because I talked with them, so then they said that yes, they do allow visa applicants, but then maybe in visa also they might have some different categories that they accept. So I did apply to one of those schools. However, I also wanted to be mindful in terms of like where it actually makes sense. So that's why this time I reduced my number from like 23, 24 to like 16, 17. So then it would actually make my application better.
Okay. And how many interviews have you like gotten or given so far, like all the cycles combined?
So I got actually 4 to 5 interviews. I want to say it's not as many as how other applicants would be getting some 10 or 12 interviews. However, it was good for me because I wanted to express myself, take the most out of that any particular interview. Initially, I did not get interviews in like one cycle or so, and definitely I was trying to figure out like what went wrong, why nothing is working out. So then what happened was that doing the self evaluation, yes, I was asking hundreds of people. And when I say this number, I'm not even exaggerating. I actually asked hundreds of people, seniors from my dental school or any other dental schools I found, or any other person I found along my journey. I asked every single person that what I can do to improve my profile, because none of the applicants profile is 100%. Trust me, if someone is telling you that yes, I do have like everything and my profile is 100%, I do not agree to that point. And if someone has it, okay, that's really great for that person. But I actually believe that there is always something that you can work on and improve, right? So then that's what I did. Like look at the school list and then make sure that what actually that school is looking for, and then also it is important in terms of if you're applying to that school, research well about that school, because many schools which ask for their supplemental questions. So then if you do not know the school inside and out, then you won't be able to write those questions which will actually give you the interview invite. So because I know that some people are like, okay, whatever they can see online and then they would just write it. No, that's not going to help, because online information is available for every single person, even for general public. So then what makes you stand out, that you need to figure out. Do you know someone at the school? Do you want to ask that person that, okay, what actually makes you study here, and what are the reasons that you are studying here? What is great about your school that actually aligns with my professional goals and personal goals as well? So again, whatever schools you're applying, your money is very important, your time is very important. So please do thorough research and make sure that you are actually interested in applying to that school, because everybody wants to maximize their chances. I'm not denying that, but also be mindful of your own personal and professional goals.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Like doing good research about the school. I remember like I used to reach out to people on LinkedIn or like wherever I can see to, understand what they really want in a candidate. Even for supplemental questions, I used to ask them if they can review because they know better. Like they are in the school, they know better. And it's always good to, understand what each school wants. And also, did you get a feedback of like rejections? Like, did you ever ask them? Um,
Yes, I used to ask every cycle to whichever school I was interested in applying. Many schools gave me generalized feedback, which is still fine because at least I got something, and then I would be able to apply those things to my another cycle. So then yes, I make sure that I email each and every school in terms of getting a feedback on what I can improve. They may not have different things to say to you, and particularly about your profile, but again, whatever 2 cents that you can get, it would be definitely helpful.
Yeah, yeah. Also, applying to more schools is better, I feel, because now there is so much of competition and we never know like where we will end up. So it's always good to apply to more than 10, 15 schools. Yeah, it's better. Also, did you apply early or late in cycle and what do you suggest?
Yes, applying early is the key. And again, for example, last cycle, if I specifically talk about, I applied to just 10 or 11 schools, but due to my TOEFL expired and I did not get 100, I was stuck at 99. I could not apply until May, and that resulted in zero interviews. So again, in previous cycles, I did get interviews, and there I applied sometime around starting to mid-April. So I still got interviews, but in May I did not. And this year, what I made sure was that everything was ready for me. I can say that I think this year the cycle opened around what 7th or 8th March, I guess. I'm not really sure. But I think I can say that by 20th March, where the schools did not need a supplemental application or supplemental essays, where I just had to pay the fees. For those schools, I was done and I received application complete email by March 20th or 21st. So technically, in 2 weeks, I was done with those schools at least. And whichever schools asked for the supplemental essays, I made sure to complete them by March end or first week of April. So that is very important. Applying early is definitely the key. Again, the schools which are not rolling, especially I guess West Coast schools, it is still important to apply early, because you should not wait until the last minute that yes, they will still review it after the deadline. No, you never know what one component might be missing in your application. So you definitely want to give them the time to check if everything is in order and if your application is actually ready for review. So all the applicants, I would suggest, make sure to finish your application 2 weeks within the start date of your Caapid. Just keep that in mind. And if not, March end, I want to personally say that should be your deadline. So if anything goes here and there, within first 7 or 8 days of April, you are good. Because what I decided this year was that yes, I actually told my recommenders as well this year that I want to finish my application in first 2 days of my of the Capid opens. Again, it depends on the recommenders. However, they also made sure that they complete their recommendation in first week of Capid open. So definitely it helped me. So make sure whenever you are applying, communicate with your recommenders when you are going to apply, so then they can also be ready and look out for your email.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Even for me, I learned like this was my second cycle, and I learned that applying early was so important. And last year I applied very late, like May. But then this year I kept running behind my recommenders, like emailing them back to back. Following up, like, did you submit? And then I know they might have felt annoying, but then it was so important to submit. And I also submitted around the same timeline that Dr. Utsavi said. Like by 2 weeks, I submitted schools that did not have supplemental, and then for the schools that had supplemental by April 10, I was able to submit all of them. So it is important even for West Coast or East Coast or whatever schools we are applying. So Dr. Utsavi, do you want to share some writing tips on Capit about the experience section?
Yes. So, what I did until now, I can say that, let's say I had 50 experiences, then I used to add all of them in my experience section because I wanted to make sure, oh, nothing gets left out. But then a very good friend of mine this year was helping me, and then he actually mentioned that if you are writing all the 50 things you did, probably admissions committee will lose the track of your valuable experiences. So make sure whichever are your most valuable experiences. So let's say out of 50, I found 20 of them highly valuable, which can actually make an impact on my profile. So those 20 I selected this year, and then I wrote them in my experience section. I made sure that I am writing each and every detail of that experience, because I want to say that I think experience section does not ask you about, I think mandatory question is not about your supervisor name and everything. I still recommend writing the supervisor name and email, because again, you never know if they want to contact them. And if you have that, then actually it gives the validity to your experience. That's what I personally feel. So then I made sure that I also wrote contact information and every single thing whichever was not even mandatory in that experience. I mentioned that, and then never feel that I am not writing this. You are the best person to decide which experiences will make you stand out. So write your Capid application very carefully, and invest your time in writing your Capid application, because that's what admission committees are going to see. So if you are just going to hurry in that, it's not going to help. So yes, I said that 2 weeks is actually a great time, but also you want to make sure that your Capid application is returned thoroughly and then it is actually ready to submit. So that's up to you. And I cannot stop emphasizing that you are the best person to decide every single thing in terms of writing. Nobody else can tell you. Other people can give you suggestions, but then you are the one who is submitting for yourself. So please trust yourself and trust your instincts.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Adding the experience that is most valuable is important, and also providing detail of the supervisor name, email, or everything actually validates it. So yeah, I definitely agree. And also, I wanted to add, like for Capit, like for each school, there is like questions that would say it's not mandatory, but if they have the question, that means they're looking for answers. So just don't leave it blank. Try to write something, and yeah, use every space to express your thoughts, because we are just a Capit ID for them. Like they don't know us unless you are in call for an interview. So it's really important to impress them on papers, so that they call you for an interview.
Definitely.
Yeah. Um, so you had like 4 cycles, right? So every cycle you improved on something. Like, do you want to share some experience that are like unique, or some good opportunities?
Sure. So I was always looking for different type of experiences. I was always self-evaluating every cycle, that what am I missing, and then I was also asking some people. So I did preceptorships. Again, that is not the way that you should do it. I'm just sharing what I did. So this is not a way for me to promote preceptorships. That's just I want to tell you at first. do what is best for your profile. What I was lacking in my profile was that I actually had experience of doing dental assisting at a private dental clinic. So then I thought that I actually want to, gain some experience in terms of educational setting. So that's when I did a preceptorship that was at Boston University, and I'm sure many people over here know about that preceptorship. That preceptorship actually provides you 1 month of shadowing. And again, that was a great opportunity because that also allowed me to attend some didactics. So besides being in the clinic, that allowed to learn about some theory. And then, so that was for 1 month. And Boston actually had Saturday clinics as well, and they had 3 sessions, a morning, afternoon, and evening. So I used to make sure that I attend all three of them. Evening, usually nobody's going to check on you that if you're there or not, but then it's for your own good. And then that way you will be able to talk to even international students and the domestic students. So then, with international students, you will be able to build that rapport in terms of how things worked in their favor, because I know that I made actually very good friends who I am still in touch with, who were students at that time, and they also actually helped me. So again, that was a really great exposure. Boston actually uses the electronic health record system called Salud. Salud was different from other schools because other schools uses different ones such as Exium and Epic. And again, private clinics also uses different ones, but the Salud one actually, I was helping a couple of students in terms of charting and everything. So, that actually exposes you to the word of EHR, word of documentation that you are going to learn at your dental school. Because I have heard from many people that people are great clinicians, but because they struggle with documenting things, that actually lengthens the time of patient care. So it is very important for you to learn about this documentation and what is needed, how it works, because I'm not sure how it works in India right now, but at least when I was studying, it was all paper charts. So this was a, like, huge transition for me, and then to learn about actually electronic health record system. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was one of my preceptorships. Then that cycle, I actually got 2 interviews, nothing worked. Then another cycle that was last year. So then I decided that I'm still lacking a couple of things which I actually want to do. So then I enrolled in another preceptorship because I actually wanted to learn something more, and then I wanted something of longer duration. So then I enrolled for a preceptorship at UCSF, and I enrolled in AGD department because that was more of a general dentistry perspective, so I was interested in that. I enrolled at then, and then it is basically of 3 months. However, after finishing 3 months, I still felt like, I want to continue because with my full-time job, I was doing that preceptorship. So again, check about your visa restrictions with everything. That is very important. I did that, and then I wanted to continue there because the amount of learning that I was getting, that was like incredible. The didactics, and then the quality improvement seminars, and then even the clinics, because I was working with residents and faculty. So many things I learned which I did not learn previously, because each experience teaches you different things. So then I learned different things over here, and then you won't believe, like, I continued my preceptorship up until June 2024, until I actually got accepted. Like, I was actually going to do it until the end of this year, at least, because I wasn't sure if I will be accepted. But then things changed, and then yeah, I stopped it. So I actually did preceptorship for like a year and 3 months. I loved my experience. I made great connections, and then because of that, I can tell you that I also got a letter of recommendation from the director of the preceptorship program. Because again, like, when you are there, when you are actually working, when you are making connections, then you can ask for the letter from that person, and then that can absolutely stand out in your application. So that also helped me. And then I can tell you that in UCSF, I learned about six-handed dentistry. So that was also really new for me to learn. And then whatever I learned in this, I guess, year and a half at this preceptorship and the previous one at Boston, I'm sure I will be able to apply those learnings at Tufts, and then, improve my knowledge while learning at Tufts. So for me, my preceptorship experiences were really good in my journey. And two of my mentors at UCSF, I wish I had met them way earlier in my journey. I think it would have transformed, my application and everything in a much better way, but I'm really blessed to have them. And then other thing I focused on was about research. I know many people talk about research, but actually it is important that if you want to do research. So when I mentioned earlier during my MPH, when I did research, it actually piqued my interest in that. And when I say this, I'm not exaggerating. I actually did cold email to many universities about research. I can say like at least 80 to 90 faculty I did email. I'm telling you, like East Coast or wherever I could go, because after a point of time, my work became remote. So then I was highly interested that okay, in the US, wherever I can get opportunity, I would move there, not a problem. But I actually want to do research. So then I emailed many faculty at many schools. Many people came back to me, and then even if they were not able to take research volunteers, so again, because of my visa restrictions, it was not really helpful for me to get a paid research position. So I was always mentioning in my email that I'm looking for a volunteer research position. And I want to mention applicants over here that do not emphasize on getting everything paid. If wherever you can get it, okay, that's really good. But sometimes laboratories or people do not have funding to pay you. So that's why even if you get a volunteer position, please take it. If you're getting it, take it. So then it worked out for me that last year I started doing research at University of Michigan School of Dentistry. And then that mentor has also been incredible in my journey. So I'm definitely thankful to all these three mentors who actually gave accelerator to my journey. So and with UCSF, another advantage was that I was able to do research. So because we were all the preceptors were engaged in research and helping each other, so we definitely had like a really great experience at preceptorship.
Yeah, yeah, that's wonderful. Like so many experience. I didn't know you also did Boston preceptorship. For UCSF, you did in person, right? Like
Yes,
beginning.
I did in person. So for UCSF, I think AGD especially provides you two components, in person and virtual. I did most of it in person. However, like a few of the things I needed to take care on my personal end. So then later on, for like a few months, I turned a virtual preceptor, but I still continued my learning at least through attending lectures and all.
Yeah, yeah, that's when I met Utsavi. So I was also a UCSF preceptor. And yeah, so like Dr. Utsavi said, it's like what you are interested in. Just don't do it because other person has did it. Because an interview, you might have to answer why you chose to do that in first place. So make sure you research what you like, and then apply for a preceptorship or something else. But with preceptorship, I would say go for something that's longer. I know like Boston, it's 1 month, it's shorter, you get it done faster. But with UCSF, I got to learn so much. I was in close connection with faculty member, and even like Dr. Utsavi, I got an opportunity to do research. And I was also called for an interview from them. So they really want to know you. Uh, and Angia, could you mute yourself? Yeah. So yeah, and for research, yeah, reach out to faculty member, make sure you email them because I see a lot of faculty members need help with research and they are doing some project or other. So if you express or write any good email that you're really interested, maybe they'll give you an opportunity. With Dr. Utsavi, your Michigan research, was it in person or online?
No, that was remote because that did not include anything about like biomedical research or anything like that. So that was more about like social behavioral and vulnerable population research. So that actually allowed me to work remote.
Okay, great. Yeah, we'll move on to the next slide. So yeah, SOP and LOR. So did you get any help writing your SOP?
This cycle, no, because I want to say this, and nothing against or in favor of anything or anyone. But in previous cycle, one of those previous cycles, I actually got help from three different people. So when I actually got my SOPs back, I did not like them because I felt like, this is not who am I, and this is not reflecting myself. So then I actually worked on my SOP again. I rewrote everything again. And then when I was satisfied, then I submitted that SOP. So that I'm not denying that that experience was bad or anything. I did not like it, but again, that cannot happen with everyone. But what I just want to say out loud is that make sure wherever you get the help from, it resonates with you because this year whatever SOP I wrote, I knew it by my heart, even without reading it. Because, when I submitted, I knew what I wrote into it. So then during my interview, they also asked me, like, just randomly, they started saying the first line of my SOP. And then within a second, it just clicked to me that, oh, yes, this person is talking about my SOP. So it is very important that when you are writing your SOP, it resonates with you. So this cycle, no, I did not get any assistance in writing my SOP. However, when I wrote my SOP, I did show it to my mentors, and then they actually gave me areas of improvement, and that's how I worked on it. But in terms of any other professional help, no, I did not get it.
Mhm. Yeah. Even for me, I reached out to services like last year, but I honestly did not like it. So I decided to write it myself and get it like checked by family members or like mentors like Dr. Utsavi. And that was the best because even like during interview, I was able to connect things from the SOP, which is important. So yeah, you are the best person to express your story. So maybe just use Grammarly or something to correct the grammar part, but otherwise try to write it yourself.
Yes, and
And
then because you mentioned Grammarly, I want to mention about ChatGPT because even if you are doing sentence restructuring with ChatGPT, make sure it's your words because it is very easy for schools to detect that this is ChatGPT written. So please, please, please use your own words and your own idea.
yeah. And did you revise your SOP cycle that you applied?
Yes, I have my all of my SOPs saved on my computer with each cycle. I revised and or modified SOPs each application cycle because it is very important that you do not submit the same. Whatever experience that you got each cycle, it is important to reflect things in SOP. So please, please, please invest enough time in writing your personal statement.
And any things that they should write or like shouldn't write in the SOP.
So make sure that your SOP is not your exact reflection of your CV because they have CV, they can read everything. If you're going to write same thing in your SOP, that's not going to help. One more thing that I learned this cycle in writing SOP, I can say that not each and every single of your experience has to go in your SOP. Make sure that it follows the theme in a way that it connects everywhere. Like because sometimes even in my previous drafts, I have seen that maybe introduction is saying something else, and then the body paragraphs are like really not connecting well. Then I would make sure that oh no, this is not connecting. I need to go back. I need to revise. So not each and everything that you have done or it's in your CV that has to go in your SOP. Make sure you include those experiences that reflects in terms of what you learned and how it made you a better person because this is a healthcare profession, and then it is very important that we are kind humble to our patient. So each and experience, what did they teach you? Because there were experiences and then failures. There are failures and people do say that you should not write about failures. Again, that's very subjective. I want to say that if you actually want to write your failure but in a way that okay, that actually taught you perseverance and resilience, then in you should just write in a subtle way in a sentence or two late maximum. Do not keep writing and writing that okay xyz things happen and then whatever followed after that. Please do not spend an entire paragraph on that. If you actually want to show that what actually made you stronger during this application process out of that failure, you can definitely mention it, but just write a sentence. That's it. And that should be really in a way that you are not actually showing your negative side, but you are actually turning that into your positive strength.
Yeah, definitely. That's a great point. Even I mentioned one time where I was low, but I put it in such a way that I was able to, show that it was one of my strengths. So that taught me a lot of things. So writing what you learned from your experience is important and not trying to mention each experience in SOP should be what you guys should do. And also for LOR, like what was the combination of LOR you used?
So I know many schools ask for, especially Dean one is a mandatory one, so I'm sure everyone would get that. Other two, I know many schools ask for the faculty LOR from your home country dental school. Personally, for this cycle, I did not get that. I got two letters from my US mentors only because I thought that they would, provide the best of my professional experiences and strength, and then also about my character, so they would be able to better write it in a way. So I chose personally two US recommenders and then one from the dean. So I still feel that whoever can write you the best LOR, please go for that. In my previous cycles where I got interviews as well but not acceptance, I did get one from faculty from my dental school and one from the US dentist I was doing dental assisting with. So again, you need to decide that who can be the best recommender for yourself and who can actually make your application stronger, because SOP and LOR are very, very, very important part of your application.
Mhm. Yeah, for me, I got it from the clinic. I was working as assistant for 3 years, and then one from my dean and one from my faculty from my dental school back in India. So yeah, I knew that they are gonna write the best letter for me, and that's why I chose them. So yeah, make sure you talk to the recommender and maybe like tell them like these are the things you want to include in your LOR because LORs are so important. Like not a lot of people talk about it, but the school will go through the LORs because this is something that comes from the faculty or someone who is observing you. So that is very important. Maybe we can go to the next slide. So yeah, tests. How did you prepare for? Did you take IMPD or NBDE part one,
So
part
I
two?
actually did both.
Oh,
because when I completed my part one and part two, that was I think I completed my part one was in 2017 and part two was in 2019. So then which is why, like, the scores were getting ordered, and I know like ADA does not allow you to do that. Let me clarify that first. That if you already have a past part one and part two, you are not eligible to take INBDE. However, one of the schools actually mentioned on their website that they would want NBDE scores within 3 years
Okay.
or something. Three years, I think that's what I saw. Again, I'm not sure, that was last year or so. That's when I saw. Or they would allow for ADAT as well, but I wanted to take INBD. So then I what I did was that I requested the school to email directly ADA, because ADA asked me that you need to ask the school to email us, so then that way we will be able to verify it. So the school actually emailed ADA, and then ADA kept me in the loop as well. And then they asked me that, okay, we understand that school requirements are like this, so then that's why we will allow you to take INBD. And then they opened the window for me to book the INBD like whenever I was ready to book, because usually, for NBD or INBD, like you can book whenever you can, but in my case it was different. So that's why they opened the window for a short time, and then that's when I booked. For INBDE, because I already took part one and part two, this was a bit easier for me. But people who are taking it for the first time, I want to say that start watching mental dental videos. Dental decks are very important as well when you want to go in thorough depth. However, I have seen that with INBDE, if you are actually understanding everything, it may not be necessary, but for clinical part, sometimes it is necessary. So the resources that I used, that I can share, that I watched mental dental videos. I also had Dentine book for part two and for INBDE both, because the part two Dentine was helpful for me to understand the details of the clinical subjects. So, which is why I was reading some clinical subjects from Dentine book. I had Tufts of Pharmacology. That is also best resource for pharmacology. And then definitely repeated questions. So I was active on social media INBD groups that actually helped me. So even if you keep studying but do not practice the type of questions that you may get, it will not help you to succeed. So I want to say that keep practicing about the type of questions that you would be getting. So yeah, and because I actually had a full-time job and everything, so my time of preparation was just 7 weeks, and I really had to make sure that I complete it in a certain time frame. So I did have time constraints, and then luckily it worked out, and I was able to pass my test within that short time. However, I do not recommend it, that everybody feels like that oh yeah, we can do it like in 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, or whatever. Take your own time. No time is more, no time is less. Whenever you feel ready, that's when your time is. So do not compete yourself with other people, that oh, maybe this person took the less time or this person took more time, I need to do it accordingly. Take your own time. And then one more resource I forgot to mention, boot camp. That was very helpful. So people these days are looking at boot camp. Boot camp is really good resource, I found, because they have questions which could be similar to your actual exam. But they also had description, and not just for the correct answer, but also for the wrong answer, that why this answer cannot fit to this particular question, and why it would be, a good answer, or why it could be the correct answer for something else. So I really liked the bootcamp, because it actually also kind of gave me the revision of what I watched for mental dental videos. It is very important to revise everything. So make sure that before you are actually appearing for the exam, you revise everything. I also saw many tests, simulated tests that are available on different platforms. So try to look for that, and then I'm sure you will be able to find it. If I find, I do not remember, I think I took some free tests. I did not take the whole test before the test, but I did take some small tests. I do not remember which ones I take. But if I do, I definitely like email Dr. Yamini, and then maybe she can share with you all as well. So yeah, I'll definitely keep you posted on that.
Yeah, also another thing I want to add is attempts matter with so much of competition now. Like I would say, give your best in the first attempt, and try not to have multiple attempts because it might affect your chances. So that's something you can keep in the back of your mind. And for TOEFL, what was your score and what was your thesis?
So it is very important to have at least 100, because majority of the schools require 100. And then TOEFL is one of the factors that will be in your application. But more the merrier, it's like that. The better score you have, it will be better for you. So I had to take TOEFL like a few times because of the score expiration and all, due to the long process. But I want to say that what really helped me was the Noteful TOEFL. I know that they have free videos online. But I also took that paid course, and that was really helpful to me. And then because it actually gives you the strategy in terms of how to tackle each and every question. And I think now the TOEFL has reduced the time to 2 hours as well. So now I think it's much less stressful. So I want to say that TOEFL is not about your English, but it's about the strategies that you can apply to each question. So, and again, I think there are many resources I have seen, Best My Test, and some other videos are there. So make sure you practice well before you are applying for the test, because it may seem very easy, but it is not, especially for speaking, because when you think that yes, I'll be able to speak, no, when actually you have the clock ticking, you won't be able to speak at that time because of the exam environment. So that's why I want to say that keep practicing, keep recording yourself, and then keep hearing that recording, so then you will know that where you made a mistake and how you can improve. What I did was that I kept practicing one question 5 times at least, so then I could hear my recording at different times, and then I know that okay, where I did better and where I made mistakes. So there are multiple resources available for TOEFL. Take your own time and practice well before you actually appear for the test. And now that COVID is gone, majority of the schools I think are asking for um, test center TOEFL. So if you are still taking home edition TOEFL, first check with the school website and requirements if they are accepting, and if not, then you have to go to the test center.
Yeah, I use the same. I use Noteful, TOEFL, and if you guys are interested, I also have a video with Noteful on YouTube, so you can check that out as well. Do you take ADAT?
No, I did not, but I was planning to. So that's why I started studying for ADAT as well. But people who took ADAT, they told me that as soon as you take INBD, you should take ADAT as well. So people who are here who actually want to take INBD and ADAT both, you can take it, at the similar time, probably 1 or 2 weeks apart, because majority of the material will remain same. However, ADAT has more of like a biostatistics. So for that, I know that people use USMLE book for the biostatistics preparation. I did have all the resources because for ADAT, I think for people who are using Crack the ADAT, and I don't know, something else was there as well. So yes, I did have resources and I was planning to do that. I think if I hadn't got into this cycle, probably my move was to take ADAT.
I was planning the same. Okay. So yeah, research, I think we already touched a little bit on this, like from UCSF and U Michigan, right? Do you want to add something on it?
Yeah, I mean, I can just tell you one thing that you already mentioned before, that keep emailing people showing about your interest. If they do not get back to you in your time, like let's say if you already emailed them today and if they do not get back to you in a week or so, please follow up, because it can happen that people miss your email. So please follow up. Please show your continued interest. Because I kept doing it at one of the dental schools. I actually was going to start, but then I got to know from that faculty that they imposed COVID restrictions. So then I could not do it at that time, and I was very disappointed because I got that opportunity after so many emails. But again, I kept going because just keep in mind that you are definitely not going to get a positive response, but then yes, from some you will. So keep emailing, keep showing your interest, and I'm sure someone will be there whose research will align to your interests.
Right. So yeah, volunteering. Uh, so you already mentioned, I think, a little bit, but yeah, what volunteer experience do you have?
I did. I used to find like different type of volunteering. I have many hours of community service in my application, dental, non-dental, both. There are many which people know already. For dental, it's like Give Kids a Smile, and when you are in California, it's like CDA Cares, and then California Healing, Care Harbor. I think some of those I already attended over the years. Mission of Mercy is also one of those. So keep attending this dental volunteering. If you are also a dental assistant at community dental clinic, that is also a very good resource. So wherever I was in the US, depending on the location, I kept looking for any community dental clinic where I can actually volunteer as a dental assistant. Some areas I did not find, but then some areas I did find. So depending on your location, you can look for, community dental clinics where you can volunteer as a dental assistant. That is also like one kind of community service. And then you can also like get that letter, because I know Indiana asks for community service recommendation letters. So you can get from anywhere, but whatever strengthens your profile, because many people will have similar. So for example, American Red Cross, I'm sure majority of people are doing that volunteering, and it is great. Definitely it's very useful. I have been personally doing that for the past year or so as well. But I also had another volunteering on site. So For some people, if your schedule does not allow to be in person for volunteering, yes, in person is always great, but for some reason if it does not allow, after COVID there have been many virtual volunteer opportunities as well, and which I personally did as well. Like there were 3 or 4 types of volunteering which I did in last 2 years, and that was virtual besides in person ones. So yes, look for the opportunities around you, however it fits your schedule, your interest, because they will ask you about things in your interview. I was also asked about my volunteering, current volunteering that I was doing, like in at that time. And then I did mention about that volunteering experience. So do something that you can actually benefit your profile from that. So yeah, that will actually impact your application.
Yeah, it's important to have volunteering experience because schools really like people who volunteer, and it's all about community service. So they will talk about it in interview. So always make sure like you're doing something on weekends or whenever you get a chance. So just keep adding hours. And how many hours did you have? You must have a lot of hours of volunteering.
Yes, honestly, I do not remember as of now, but I think I had many hours because I was doing over the year. So I think I did have good amount of hours, yeah, with different types of community service.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Let's move on. So yeah, from all the things that you did, what do you think worked in your favor?
I think I want to say early application, investing good amount of time in my personal statement, and then getting recommendation letters from, I know people who can actually write good for me. And then I think then you just, believe in yourself and then just go for it, I guess. And then, yes, praying, lots of praying. I'm sure everybody's doing it. And I really pray for all of you that you all get in as soon as you can.
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually a combination of everything. I think they look at every aspect. And yeah, just keep manifesting the dream school that you want to be in. Okay. So I know you are really determined. You are someone who doesn't want to give up. And from all the challenges, what would you say was your biggest challenge?
I want to say that I think my biggest challenge was sometimes just applying, and then sometimes I did not understand. Like initial cycles, I want to say that I did make some mistakes. Like it was not everything perfect. Like I learned over the years. So my biggest challenge was that I can say that not understanding a few things about applications or schools. So that's why I emphasized earlier that please do thorough research on the school that you are applying. Otherwise, because every year that I was applying and I was not getting in the school, I was losing 1 year of studying in the school. I was losing so much of money. So that's why, it was really hard to digest that disappointment. So which is why, like I say that make sure that you are really, really, really ready to apply. And that's when you apply. Because if you apply 1 year late, it is fine, but apply early. Because if you still think that, okay, it's June, July, or something like that, and I could still apply to some schools, you can take a chance. I'm not saying you should not. You can, but it's really not a guaranteed interview or acceptance that you can get. Schools which are opening a little bit later, like Colorado University, those schools are different. But the schools which actually open from March, I want to say that just keep applying early. So yeah, my challenge was that I did not understand a few things by myself, and I rushed into the application.
Mhm. And yeah, so it's important to, plan properly, and it must be a very big financial burden for you, but I'm sure it's going to pay off all in the end. So what kept you motivating? Like every cycle, like you're having rejection. How did you motivate yourself?
So from last 2 cycles, to be honest, like every time I did not get by September or October, I kept telling my parents that okay, now I'm not going to apply. I'm not going to apply. But every time, like I think as soon as the January started, I was like, oh March, the application is starting, so I need to prepare. Because yes, there are days where you actually feel that no, you do not want to do this. But then I used to see the bigger picture that why I actually came here. I have been in the US now for more than 8 years. So when I look back, I just see that why I came in the first place. And yes, it may take time, and everybody's journey is different. So probably I have many other things to explore. That's how I can, take it positively. So then, if I and I would not want to change a bit in my journey, to be honest, because I met amazing people, I learned a lot, and I think that was great. So yes, there are lows that you can face, but keep motivating yourself. Take a break, spend time with your family and friends, but then just come back to what you actually thought of doing it.
Yeah, you are such a great inspiration for me. And that was one of the reason I really want to interview and also inspire other aspirants who are feeling like lost just because of one cycle. So yeah, thank you so much.
Yes, I'm sure everybody will get in soon.
Yeah, right. So your Tufts interview experience, how was it?
It was great. And again, this was the first cycle that they were accepting people on visa. So the experience was great. Like we had three different components. We had Kira as well, and then we had in-person interview. Then with the interview, you also have, they do not have a bench test, but they do have like a preclinical test that where they ask you about evaluating the preps, and then they will also ask you, they will also show you about some dental materials where you have to name them. So those are the things that they mainly ask, and then you have the interview with the director. So that was the in-person interview, and then the other two components were like, one was regular our pre-recorded Kira, and the another one was Kira itself, but that was like a Zoom interview where you have actually a live person, and then you give the interview. So yeah, these were the three components.
So it was 2 days or?
No, so in person was just one, and then the other two were on different dates.
Mhm. So once you get an interview, you had a Kira that you had to do,
Yes.
and then the in-person
Then
interview.
so all this was not like so this all these three components were like mandatory for all the applicants. It was not like if you pass the first, then you go to second. They would evaluate you based on all three components.
All right. Yeah. So any advice for other aspirants if you want to go back and give some advice to a younger self 5 years ago, what would you say?
So I did not have, to be honest, as much knowledge these days. You can see around and sharing people like because there are so many people who are sharing on Instagram, YouTube. So that is very, very, very helpful for everyone. So please try to take some knowledge from there. Try to connect with people who are in your same boat. I'm sure everybody is a competitor. So I'm not saying that everybody will tell you whatever they are doing. However, be there for each other. That is also very important. And I did have friends who were actually with me because I did have a friend. We both started our journey together. She actually got into the dental program way earlier than me because she already graduated last year. However, like, the support and the motivation that you have, that is very important. And then connect with like minded people in terms of whoever is giving you motivation. Even if someone is giving you the negative advice, try to take the positive from it because I did meet a few people who were actually telling me that no, I don't think you will be able to do it, and if you don't have a 4.0 GPA, then no, you cannot get into the dental school. That also I heard, which is not true. And I think those type of comments actually, encouraged me to get back to it in a much tougher way. That no, now that not because I want to show it to someone, but because it actually motivates me to do it in a much tougher way. That no, this reminds me of my goal, so I really want to do it. So some things that you hear around, just keep your ears open. You can hear what you think that is best for you. Whatever advice you think that no, this is not right for me, not a problem, still hear that. You never know what you can learn from that as well. And then keep researching about schools, keep talking with people, keep learning. And yes, during my process I also kept attending conferences. Like I know that most of the time I used to, like, on Google, which are the dental conferences happening. And then there were a couple of times that I also flew across the country just to attend the conference. So do what you think is best for you, and then keep learning. There are so many online CE courses available as well. Greater New York Dental Meeting is one of the meetings that actually allows you to do poster presentation as well. And if you are actually volunteering for the courses, then you definitely you will be able to attend the courses and get the C credits as well. So, and again, poster presentation, all this is for free. So if you are volunteering for the dental meeting, then that's for free. So try to look for a similar kind of conferences. If some majority of the conferences are paid, if your financial situation allows you to attend that paid conferences, definitely do so. I know at that time it would feel like I am actually spending $1,000. It's a huge amount, but then look into the bigger picture. If you can go to that conference, because you will be able to meet many different professionals. So do what is best for you and try to look for the opportunities wherever you can, because I'm sure many opportunities lie just around you. You just have to look and find it yourself.
Yeah, that's true. And you have set a great example for all of us and really proved all others wrong and inspiring us so much. And is there anything that you would have done differently, like you think?
No, I think I really like my journey now when I look back, because I think if I even had just got in 1 year earlier, I don't think I would have met you. I don't think I would have met my mentors at USSF and Michigan. So no, I don't think I would change anything a bit. I really like my journey.
Yeah, that's great. Even I, like looking back, I felt like low at those times, but I enjoy the journey. This is a process, so you should enjoy the process as well. And you will meet wonderful people along the journey. And yeah, like Dr. Utsavi. So yeah. So yeah, we are actually over time. So we can take questions from the chat box first. Hmm. So, what are the chances for getting accepted working only in the home country as I have only visitor visa? It's from Shushmita.
So I think depending on the schools, you should apply because there are some schools I think who do not accept, people on visitor visa. But again, things are changing in different ways. So it is very important for you to check out the website or actually emailing the school about your immigration status if they are accepting or not. But if you are just on visitor visa, then whenever you are coming to the US, try to make the most out of that opportunity. And I have seen many people get accepted on visitors visa as well. So don't get disheartened. As I said, like try to look for the opportunities because whenever you are not in the US, you are actually working as a dentist in your home country. So all that experience matter as well. So and everybody's profile is unique. So again, do not compare. Just make the most out of what you can. That's it.
Yeah. And this from Supriya. Dr. Utsavi, can you help us with what was the difference between all the cycles and this one, which you got accepted? I think she already mentioned about it. And this is a recorded session, so I will be sharing it on YouTube. So later you can watch it again. And I think Dr. Utsavi has answered most of the questions. Yeah. So, how can a dean write a good LOR for you? I wasn't a famous student in my college. How can I convince the dean to write a good LOR for me? Also, what's the minimum word count for a good LOR?
So for my dental school, like our dean had a set template. So then, I could not change it at all. They were writing the same thing for each and every student from my dental school who were applying. But do not think about that if you're a famous student or not. You can definitely reach out to your dean that you are applying for the dental programs in the US. And then it is very important to have a good letter of recommendation. So you can ask that. It would be great. And then I'm not sure what they ask for because my school asked for like our mark sheets and degree certificate as well, just as a part of the process. Nothing that they would mention in the letter. And again, I mean, I'm not sure what they actually wrote in my letter because of the confidentiality. But as far as I know, like they would just write same thing for each and every one, and then there is no minimum word count. But usually a page long is good to have a letter. People do not go beyond one page in majority of the cases because it would be considered a too long LOR, and then admissions committee may not have too much time to read that. So I would say that a page long letter with the letterhead and signature and everything is good.
Yeah, and schools don't expect a lot from Dean's letter. It's just a validation that you were a student in good standing. So it's okay. You can write better in the other two letters that you have. And from Ahmed, I have a faculty member that will write a LOR for me, but he wants me to write a draft for it. Any suggestions about that?
So you can definitely provide the draft to the faculty member, but you want to include that how long you have known the faculty. So basically, like faculty would write to that how long they have known you as a student and in which course or department that you were under that faculty. What are your characteristics that would make you a great professional? And if there are any particular incidents with patient treatment that they have observed while you were working under that specific faculty, you can also ask your faculty to mention that. If there are any specific projects that you worked on with that faculty, you can also mention that. So that way it will stand you out in a way that yes, this faculty actually knew you in every possible way while you were a student in that department. And then again, like how that faculty thinks that you would succeed in this program because this is a rigorous program. So definitely schools want to see that how you will be a good fit. And then letter of recommendations are one of the ways to prove that.
Yeah, and if you like have a faculty who wants you to write it, it's a golden opportunity. Like you can write about your specific examples, like where you can show your leadership skills or like the projects you worked on, and really show your academic excellence if you have and everything. So yeah, um, and yeah. So the name of the TOEFL channel is Noteful TOEFL. I also have it on my Instagram page. I can share it later. Okay, and can you name virtual volunteer options?
So what I did was that I went to I think volunteer match, something like that is there that gives you the virtual volunteer options. Couple of them, what I did was that I was also involved with the organization of special needs children. So those special needs children, like during COVID, I used to have like a Zoom session where we do like storytelling or some games and something like that. So I did that with that organization, especially during COVID. So that was really like, a fun filled, just 1 hour session. And whenever I was available, so I was able to do that. The name of the organization was Keen, Keen, Keen. That was the organization. I was also involved with another organization that was in California, but I was remote. I was like a research volunteer data analyst, where I was, the organization was about helping any women who were like sexually abused, or actually they were like they were victims of sex trafficking. So then I was kind of creating a tool or helpline, and then the Excel sheet and the list of people and like that, where I was able to use my data analytical skills into this. So then whenever those victims are calling, we can make a note and we can provide them any assistance that they need. So I was able to do this as well. I also was like a teaching volunteer for two different organizations, where one of the organizations was about teaching English to immigrants. Again, that was virtually every week, just a couple of hours. And then I actually spoke about this in my interview as well, because I was able to say that being an immigrant myself, I was able to resonate with those immigrants, that any English difficulty that they were having, so I was able to explain things to them. And again, it was mainly they were looking for basic English volunteers. So then I was helping them. Yeah. So I did that. Another one, Dr. Yami and I talked about this as well. There is one organization that is in California, in Bay Area, uh, that's about Dental Academy. If you reach out to them and like talk with them, that where are you located, and if you are there in person, then they will definitely answer that way. If you are remote, they will definitely answer that way as well. So if you reach out to them, that's also like a Dental Academy. So they will, based on your location, they will give you the projects and types of involvement as well. So these are like some of the options that I know on top of my head, which are really good in terms of virtual volunteering.
Mhm. And yeah, you can go to volunteermatch.com and find like all the opportunity like they have in person, virtual, or whatever area you are looking to help. And then yeah, even Red Cross has volunteer like virtual volunteering opportunity. So yeah, look into that as well. We can move on to the next question. Um, so is in-person volunteering as important as online?
Yes, any type of volunteering you do will be better. It's just don't do it for the sake of it again, because you will be asked questions of that during your interview. So make sure that you are actually, making the most out of your volunteering. You are actually doing because you want to do it. So it is very important. So yes, in person is actually much, much, much better. But if you cannot do it, try to engage in some ways.
Yeah. And the next is it good to include other non-dental specialties, strength, or prizes in our CV?
Yes, you can include that. So basically, when we are talking about awards or something like that, prizes, I think I did have a couple of them, which were during my public health. So I did mention that. It is absolutely okay.
Yeah. And so what's your GPA, doctor, if you want to share?
So the reason I do not want to give the exact number, because people will start comparing one or the another way, but I just want to say that whatever GPA you have, you cannot change it. So if you have really good GPA, okay, that's great. That's one of your strengths, but GPA is not everything. Trust me. When I say this, GPA is not every single thing. Whatever you have, it is absolutely okay. If you think that, this is not good, if you have lower than three, not a problem. Yes, it will make you struggle, but try to find different ways to enhance your profile, because GPA is not everything. So if you have a much better GPA, let's say more than 3.5, okay, that's great. That's one of your strengths. But if you do not have it, do not sweat about it. Whatever happened, but try to enhance in other ways. And then if someone asks you in your interview that what was the reason for that, then you need to have some reason.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I mean, not made up, but absolutely, if you have the actual reason, yeah. But they can ask you, yeah.
Okay. And then someone wants to know if it's good to do preceptorship or masters because masters has OPT, which is good for people who are on visa.
So nobody can decide that for you, because you are the best person to decide. Masters, it is also financially a lot of investment if you are ready to do that. Also, one more thing, uh, if it works out for you according to your profile, that you get into the school as soon as you graduate your masters and as soon as you get into the dental school, good for you. But if you do not get in, let's say like me, then you need to be prepared to work based on whatever masters you did. And then if it is in a non-dental field, make sure you are involved with the dental field over the years, because in my profile, even if I had full-time job, in one or the another way, I made sure that I am involved with dental field, and I did not have a gap. But that does not mean that if someone has a gap, that's not right. life happens and there are many reasons that you may have a gap in your profile, but you should be able to explain it in a better way in your personal statement. So I think a preceptorship is different in a way than what you're looking for at masters. So I think you are the best person who can choose it, that if you actually want to gain that masters and how that masters will be helpful in your dental journey, and then how a specific preceptorship will be helpful in your journey.
Yeah. All right. So you were on F1 visa throughout the cycle, right? You're still on
No,
it.
no, I am still on H-1B visa. That's my work visa. And then I will be converting my visa to F1.
Okay. Next question. Is it okay to get one LOR from Dean, one from US dentist, another from another dentist who I work for in my home country, or one professor from our college is mandatory?
Uh, I think depends on the school, because each school have different requirements. So I think there are some schools which actually ask for the letter from the home country of the dental faculty. So I think it is best. You can decide what works best according to the school requirements.
Yeah. But it's always good to have faculty because we are going to join an institution. So they maybe take a word of the faculty more, but I'm not sure. Yeah. Okay. Is UCS a preceptorship will reject some applicant who apply because the school website said it only had a few spots in each module?
I am not sure about that, to be honest, because I think I applied for a specific module and I was accepted. But definitely you can apply, and then they will tell you that if it is like full for a specific module and if they have the capacity to accept.
Mhm. Okay. Is it considered negative if we add too many in the achievement section? Like how you mentioned that having too many experience will shadow your highlight experiences.
I think in achievement sections, mostly what I mentioned was like my publications. What I did not have too many publications, but just a few of them. But I think you can mention some very important achievements that you feel, like just making a list of them would not help. So yes, just figure out whichever are better for you and which makes an impact in your application.
Yeah, you can also mention poster or paper presentations. That will be good. But outside dentistry, like extracurricular, maybe you can write one or two, but don't write too many things because it's like feels irrelevant. From Ahmed, how did you find a job in MPH? I'm doing MPH right now. I'm afraid that I won't find good opportunity after graduation.
I think what I was doing mainly was just seeking help from my professors and trying to attend the career fairs and then just networking. LinkedIn also helped in getting so many interviews. Wherever I was doing internship, I tried to make some connections as well. So again, networking is the key. That's how it can help, and that's how I got it.
Hmm. For MPH MSc, is it important to get the master's in public health only from the US?
No, that's not necessary. Whatever you can or wherever you can, because I know a few people also got from other countries and then they are also doing a DDS over here or already graduated. So it's not mandatory that you have to have it from the US.
Okay. And do you believe that schools can reject someone on the basis of being overqualified? Do you think it's just a myth?
I think it's hard to answer this question, and I think because I don't know what overqualified means. But I don't think schools will look at that way. What schools want to see is that if you are actually teachable, because you are already a dentist in another country, and how you present your application, that is very important. Because as Dr. Yamini said earlier, that whenever your applications are going to the admissions committee, they just see the paper; they do not see the face behind that paper. So whatever you put on paper, that should be good. That actually makes them invite you for an interview.
Mhm. Okay. According to you, doctor, a very good, strong letter of recommendation from a dentist from your home country, India, is good to apply where I work for a year, or an average letter of recommendation from a US dentist where I shadowed for around 2 weeks.
2 weeks is a really less time to actually understand your skills and your character. So I would always choose where you have worked for a year. That is because they will be able to know which type of procedures you are good at and how you are as a professional. So I think that letter will have a good weightage.
Mhm. Yeah. And do extracurriculars matter?
I think that's just an additional thing. Whatever you have in your profile will help you in one or the another way, but that does not mean if you do not have it, that's a problem. Extracurriculars also in what type of extracurriculars you have, that is also important. What types you mention. If you have like 10 extracurriculars or 15, and if you mention all of them, even if they are good or not, it's just gonna make it lengthier and tedious for people who are reading it. Maybe just use 2 or 3 which are actually important or really good.
Okay, we'll just take last two questions and we have to respect Dr. Utsavi's time. So Urmi is asking, is there any specific word limit or page limit for CV?
Usually it is good to have 3 page of CV. That's actually quite good. I had because I can say that I did have like a huge CV, but then I cut down many things from that. Which I can say that okay, yeah, it wouldn't make a difference if I actually don't have them. So then, and I made my CV up to 3 pages or so. So then I can say like 3 page or maximum 4 pages, because I know Colorado actually asked for just 4 pages of CV. It should not go beyond that. So that's why I'm saying on an average, 3.5 pages is a good amount of page limit that you should have for CV.
Yeah, that's good because I worked in 1015 dental office. I didn't write all of them. So I just picked the best one and the longer ones and I put it in my CV. And then the last question, can I get LOR from my father? He's a dentist and I work for his clinic for 2 years, or does it show conflict of interest?
Uh, I think Caapid or some schools, I guess. I do not remember, but I remember seeing somewhere which says that, you cannot have a letter from your relatives. It's definitely a conflict of interest, and then, schools do not see it in a good way. So I think it's better to look for another recommender. Yeah.
Okay. So other questions maybe you can ask in the Instagram because if you are already running very late. And thank you so much, Dr. Utsavi, for today's session. It was very, very informative. I'm sure like if I was an aspirant, I would be like impressed by you. I'm sure others are as well. And yeah, from today's session, I wanted to, say, convey that keep trying, don't lose hope. Like there are so many people with kids and they're doing this, but they are like demotivated. But this video should be a positive or motivation for all of you. And yeah, keep trying. And thank you so much for inspiring us, Dr. Utsavi. Um,
You so much to you for inviting me. I'm glad that I was able to give insights on my journey and what helped me. I really hope that all of you get accepted really soon and keep working hard. Dr. Yamini already mentioned my email, so if you guys have any questions and if I can help in any way, please feel free to email me. And Dr. Yamini is doing a great job by sharing everything on Instagram.
yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, reach out to me or Dr. Utsavi, and I think we'll do another video of my journey as well in future. So keep looking out for that. Yeah, thank you so much, guys. We'll maybe catch up in another video.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.